Good evening, everyone. Now we are going to discuss about a topic which is an analysis of Israel-Palestine conflict. So this topic has been in news for a long time since the, attack was done by Hamas. And today, apart from the newspaper articles that you have been reading, we are going to cover this topic from an exam point of view. Means such topics that make headlines, so they become important from multiple perspectives. One of the perspective is this is an IR related topic, international relations, right? So this topic is important for GS paper 2 under international relations section. This topic also becomes important. This particular topic also assumes importance for prelims exam. Why prelims exam? If we talk about prelims, so there are certain angles that we need to look at. One of the angle is geography and mapping. Okay, geography and mapping section means we should be aware where is Israel located, what are the countries with which Israel shares border, and we also need to understand about, let's say, Mediterranean Sea. So from geography point of view also it is important. It is a very important topic. Apart from this, for prelims exam itself, there are many international organizations, okay, international organizations or maybe international groups that are in news. So they may be asked. So when we are reading a topic, so we should have this mind frame that we are preparing for the mains exam, right? We are preparing for the mains exam and also we are preparing for the prelims exam. So effectively in mains, if a question comes, it may be a 10-marker question or it may be a 15-marker question in GS paper 2. If in prelims questions comes, 1, 2, maybe let's say like up to 2 questions on mapping may be asked from this topic. So the thing is, it assumes importance from 10 to 20 marks in all, right, in prelims and mains together. So having understood this, now let us understand about this Israel-Palestine conflict, right? Most of the thing we have already learned in the newspaper. So the thing is, first of all, before we start the discussion, we should understand what is Hamas. We have heard about Hamas so much, right? We have heard about Hamas so much. So what do we mean by Hamas? Its meaning should be clear. I mean, like, we should be knowing what is Hamas that we are dealing with. So Hamas means Islamic resistance movement, okay? Islamic resistance movement. This is the meaning of Hamas, this keyword, Islamic resistance movement. We are going to talk about the history of Hamas, how this movement was initiated, how the movement has happened, and then we are going to talk about like what is the present context, right? So to understand about origin of Hamas, to understand about Israel-Palestine conflict, we need to learn about, let's say, like, little history about it. So we need to go to the history part of this topic. So we are going to learn about history as well. So the thing is, long back we know that Great Britain has been the, let's say, a country that has colonized most part of the world. Even it has colonized Palestine, okay? It has colonized, what it has done, it has colonized Palestine as well. And before that, Palestine used to be part of an empire. Which empire? Ottoman Empire. It was part of Ottoman Empire. So the thing is, Great Britain had colonized Palestine, and at that point of time also, as today, Great Britain used to be a constitutional monarchy, the way it is now, okay? So it is the first democratic country in the world, we can say. It has the, let's say, like, unwritten form of constitution here. So they have members who are elected into their, let's say, like, House of Commons, right? So these people are elected. They have a speaker. That speaker, let's say, represents the discussions of the House of Commons in front of the king or queen to get things approved, right? So the thing is, like, long back, Great Britain has colonized this particular territory, which is Palestine, which has been part of Ottoman Empire. And the thing is, like, one of the person in Great Britain, I mean, like in their parliamentary system, so he happens to be a Jewish person. He was a Jewish person, a person like who believed in Judaism. He was a Jewish person. He is, yeah, like he was British parliamentarian. So the thing is, what has happened, these Jewish people earlier, they did not have their own territory, okay, so they have migrated to different places, and the thing is, like, they have visited Palestine also, so they have settled initially over there. At that point of time, Palestine was under Ottoman Empire. Then what has happened means, like, Great Britain has let's say colonized that particular territory, and then Great Britain has promised that particular parliamentarian that it is going to help in the creation of a Jewish state, of a Jewish settlement. Okay, so that promise was made in around 1917. Okay, so from 1917 to 1948, they have, let's say, like, they have made this promise. This promise was made by Great Britain, as we know today, United Kingdom, right? So this has roots over there. They have promised this particular thing. So anything that, I mean, like, this, I mean, like, Israel has done, as we know today, this Israel was established in 1948. Israel as a state was established in 1948, but before this, the Palestine was a region, was a territory. It was under Ottoman Empire. But the thing is, like, they have since controlled, and they have promised the Jewish people that we are going to give you a state so that you can rule over here. So the thing is, under them, right, they have, let's say, they have captured some of the territory, and they have sidelined whom? The Palestinian people, right? They have sidelined. And there have been histories of warfare. Okay, so I'm going to discuss about those things also. I hope you may have received this thing, right? ED booklet. So there have been histories of warfare. So there was a period which is known as Mandate period. Okay, there was a period. This period is known as Mandate period. So this Mandate period lasted from 1917 to 1948, right? So this was the period when, let's say, British has made the promise, and they were in the process of giving a state to Jewish people, right? So this has led to, let's say, like, this mandate. So they wanted to give a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, and it has set the stage for subsequent conflict. And there was a Balfour Declaration also. Okay, there was a declaration. This is known as Balfour, F-O-U-R, I think. So spelling, yes, Balfour Declaration. Okay, there was a declaration, it is known as Balfour Declaration. So this declaration was made during World War I. Okay, we know World War I has happened from 1914 till 1917, but in 1919. In 1917, a declaration was made. During which time? During the World War I time. Okay, so during World War I, who were the winning parties? The winning parties had the UK. UK was one of the winning party, along with many other countries. So the thing is, like, these people, what they have done, they have, let's say, given a Balfour Declaration. So in that declaration, what has happened? The Balfour Declaration is a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the World War I, announcing its support for the establishment of national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. So they have announced that we are going to help you in creation of what? National home for Jewish people, right? National home for Jewish people in Palestine. Okay, so in Palestine. So this particular conflict that we are seeing, it is more than 100 years old. It has, let's say, long history associated with this. So this declaration is contained in letter, like there was a letter issued on 2nd November 1917 from the United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary, Arthur Balfour. Okay, name of the Foreign Secretary of the UK's Foreign Secretary's name was Arthur Balfour. Okay, Foreign Secretary. His name was Arthur Balfour. Okay. So in that letter, right, what they have done, a leader of the British Jewish community, he was a leader of the British Jewish community for the transmission of Zionist Federation of Great Britain and Ireland. It is a highly controversial, means like they have made a declaration that they are going to support the establishment of a national home for Jewish people in Palestine. Okay, so the thing is, creation of a Jewish state in Palestine had a backing of the winning powers of World War One. Foreign Secretary to Lord Rothschild, a leader of the British Jewish community for this thing. Who? Rothschild. Like, I did not go into much history about it, who was the exact person, but the thing is, like, this is how the things has transformed. So this declaration that was made, it was made by the Foreign Secretary, and he has said to this particular person. It played a key role in the establishment of State of Israel in 1948. Okay, so State of Israel, as we see today, it has been created when? The Israel was created in 1948. Okay, Israel as a state was created in 1948. And the thing is, like, United Nations has also talked about a partition plan. Okay, so United Nations now we need to understand that after the World War I, they have created League of Nations. Okay, after World War I, they have created what? League of Nations. So what was the role of the League of Nations? The role of the League of Nations was to stop any Second World War from happening. That was the role. But the thing is, the League of Nations failed to stop the Second World War. And the world has seen another World War. Okay, that Second World War, I think it has started in 1942 or 44? 1939, right? It was 39 to 45. So World War II, I mean, like, it happened from 1939 to 1945. So that's the thing. So World War II has happened, and the world has seen more destruction in World War II as compared to World War I, because by this time the world has also progressed scientifically. We have also seen the usage of, let's say, like, atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So that was the thing, and it has killed more number of people. It has killed, it has destroyed more property as before. But after World War II, all the parties who have fought this World War, they have single opinion that, like, we want to protect the world from another World War, World War III. Okay, so to protect the world from having any other world war, they have created a system which is United Nations. Okay, they have created what? United Nations. So this United Nations organization, it was created after the Second World War. Okay, so this is, this is the result of Second World War, and the task of the United Nations was to stop the world from any third world war. So it has created United Nations Security Council, it has created United Nations General Assembly. So in UNGA, we have participation of all member countries. Around 194 members are part of United Nations system. But if we talk about United Nations Security Council, it has 5 permanent members, it has 10 non-permanent members, right? These non-permanent members keep on shifting. So these 5 permanent members that are part of the United Nations Security Council, they were the ones who were on the winning side. I mean, like, now they have decided that we are the ones who will stop the Third World War from happening. And since then, the entire world is thinking of reforming this United Nations system. Even India wants its permanent membership into the United Nations Security Council. So what has happened? The United Nations organization in 1947, it said the United Nations proposed a partition plan that would have established a separate Jewish and Arab states in Palestine with international administration for Jerusalem. So United Nations has said that, like, there will be separate states for Jewish and Arab people, right? Arab people, where? in Palestine. Okay, they have said this will be established in Palestine. That's the thing. So this was the role of United Nations, and so they said like its administration will be in Jerusalem. So the thing is, they viewed Jerusalem as the capital for the Jewish state also and for the Arab states also. And still, these Arab people, I mean Palestine people, they see Palestine as their capital. They see Palestine, means like they see this Jerusalem as their capital. Okay, they see Jerusalem as their capital. Even Israel wants to make Jerusalem as its capital. Since this was our territory that was hotly contested, that was, let's say, like people were struggling for power to acquire this particular territory. So to be on a safer side, what Israel has done, Israel has shifted its capital from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv. So where is the capital of Israel? Now, the capital of Israel is in Tel Aviv. The capital of Israel is in Tel Aviv. That's the thing. So this is, we need to understand here, the capital of Israel is in Tel Aviv. So this is the thing. So after then, what has happened? Many series of warfare has happened. Okay, series of warfares have been fought by different parties. In so like initial things, I'm writing the way that, like, you know, it is the thing. Okay, so it will help you to build a perspective on this particular topic. In 1948, Arab-Israeli War has happened. Okay, what has happened? Arab-Israel War has happened. Why this war has happened? Because powers, different group of people were contesting to, let's say, like, you know, occupy the same territory. They were contesting for it. So, like, you know, in that particular first Arab-Israel War, Israel declared independence and neighborhood Arab states intervened. The war resulted in Israel being control of a larger portion of Palestine. So after this is known as first Arab-Israeli War. And here what has happened, Israel has gained control on major part of Palestine. Okay, Israel has gained control on major part of Palestine after the first war that has happened. And after then also, so since Israel was able to occupy, what would the Arab people do? Arab people means, we are not talking about Saudi Arabia, we are talking about Palestinian people. Okay, so what they did, they created an organization. This organization is named as PLO. PLO means Palestine Liberation Organization. Okay, they have created Palestine Liberation Organization. This Palestine Liberation Organization, I mean, like, you know, it was kind of those people who were fighting for the cause of Palestine, who wanted Palestine to be a separate state, who wanted their homeland back with them. So this organization was led by Yasser Arafat. Okay, there was a leader. So his name is Yasser Arafat. That's the thing. Okay, Yasser Arafat. He has created this Palestine Liberation Organization. This Palestine Liberation Organization had its settlement. For example, if I draw the map of Israel, present day Israel, right? If I draw the map of present day Israel, it looks like this. Present day Israel looks like this. Over here, present day, we have Gaza Strip, and over here we have an area which is known as West Bank, and over here we have an area which is known as Golan Heights. Okay, it is known as Golan Heights. Here we have West Bank, and here we have Gaza Strip, right? We have Gaza Strip over here. This is the present day map of Israel. And if we talk about which countries surround Israel, what are the surrounding regions, right, around Israel? So over here we have Mediterranean Sea. Okay, I'm just writing Mediterranean Sea. This side, I mean, like, you know, this side we have Mediterranean Sea over here. Apart from this, if we talk about countries that we have, right, it is important from mapping point of view. Okay, so the thing is, over here we have Jordan, Jordan on one side, then we have Egypt over here. So this Gaza Strip shares its border with Egypt, okay, shares its border with Egypt. Then like Jordan is there, and to the top over here somewhere we have Syria. Means to the northeastern side we have Syria, and to the top of it we have this Lebanon, okay. Here we have Lebanon. So when we hear about Hezbollah is a group which is, let's say, like, you know, part of Lebanon over there, okay. So what has happened in after, okay, so after this Palestine Liberation Organization was created, so they started a resistance movement. They wanted to bring the Palestinian people together. They wanted to have, let's say, resistance against Israeli occupation, and that has led to, right, this particular thing has led to signing of Oslo Accords, okay. It has led to signing of what? Oslo Accords. So two Oslo Accords have been signed. One is known as Oslo Accord 1, okay, just a minute. So we will understand about Oslo Accords. One of the accord is known as Oslo Accords 1. So according to Oslo Accords 1, there were some kind of, let's say, negotiation between Israeli part and the pro-Palestinian people, the Palestinian Liberation Organization. So they have created an interim government, okay. They have created what? An interim government. Interim government. And this government, I mean, like, you know, this government would further negotiate with Israel so that a Palestinian authority can be created, okay. So that a Palestinian authority can be created. Oslo Accords 1. After then, they have signed another accord. This is Oslo. So Oslo Accords 1 was signed in 1993. There was another Oslo Accord was signed. This is known as Oslo Accord 2. Oslo Accords 2 in 1995. Okay, after 2 years. Oslo Accords 2. Again, let's say, like, you know, they have, during this time, they have negotiated, and the thing is, like, you know, they have actually created the Palestinian state, and the thing is, but, like, you know, they have thought that this Oslo Accords 2 will lead to the long-lasting peace, a kind of peace where two-state solution would be, I mean, like, you know, they have thought of a kind of what? Two-state solution. They have thought two-state solution means the Palestine Liberation Organization, they led to the creation of Palestinian Authority, and Palestinian Authority was also in favor that, like, you know, we will create Palestine side by side Israel, means Israel will stay, Palestine will stay, and the thing is, like, we will peacefully reside. But the thing is, as we have seen that this particular group, Palestine Liberation Organization, Palestinian Authority, they were located in the West Bank. Where they were located? In the West Bank. But this particular region that we see, Gaza Strip, here, like, you know, there were Palestinian people. Over here also they have representation. These people have representation. But over here what happened? A new group emerged. Name of that new group was known as Hamas. What? Name of this group is known as Hamas. This is known as Islamic, what? Islamic Resistance Movement. Okay, Hamas means Islamic Resistance Movement. Okay. So Hamas, Islamic Resistance Movement. So Hamas, I mean, like, you know, a group kind of, I mean, like, you know, they have initiated a Islamic Resistance Movement. In 2005, an election happened. Where? An election happened. Where? In Gaza Strip. Here, Hamas won. Okay, Hamas won in this particular election. Since Hamas won, Hamas was, let's say, an organization that was set up here, like in this particular region itself, Gaza Strip. So they won. And since they won, they have, let's say, in 2006, right? In the year of 2006, what they have done? they have ousted, right? They have ousted Palestinian Authority from here. Palestinian Authority. Palestine means like there is another name, right? Another group. So that was also a Islamic movement. I mean, like this is, I mean, Hamas group. So it was a kind of Islamic brotherhood. They wanted to bring all the Arab people together so that, like, they can have unified resistance against Israel. That's the thing. Okay. So they have ousted Palestinian Authority in the sense, I mean, like Palestinian Authority was a kind of, I mean, they were representing the Palestinians, but like, they were in favor of two-state solution. But when we talk about Hamas, Hamas does not recognize two-state solution. Okay, Hamas does not recognize. Okay, gives no recognition to two-state solution. Okay, they give no recognition to two-state solution. Hamas gives no recognition to a state solution. What they want, they are a very radical group. Means like they have assumed political power over there because like they won in the election, and they have also created a kind of militant group. Militant group means they had people who were armed. Means like they had arms also, arms, ammunition. The other parts that I have not, let's say, encircled, this is part of Israel over here in this map. Okay, this is part of Israel in this map. The areas that I have not highlighted. So this was the history related to Hamas. Having understood, let's say developed some understanding related to Hamas, now we need to understand, let's say, like, what Hamas has done, what Hamas does, right? So we need to understand that part. There have been a series of attacks, re-attacks, right, between Hamas and Israel. And also, if we talk about the eastern part, this eastern part, which is West Bank is to the eastern side of it. So this eastern part, although these people are not as radical as the Hamas group, but the thing is, they also have a longing to have a Palestinian organization. But what Israel has done, Israel has, let's say, Israel has some kind of control in this area. Means like there have been wars, and after then they have created many enclaves over in this region. Enclaves means where they have settled Israeli people in the West Bank, right? Israeli people, and especially they have settled Israeli far right people. I mean, like those people who are, let's say, like, very kind of radical people who follow this Jewish identity, Zionism, etc. So they have done over here. So the thing is, like, this issue has become complex, and Hamas has recently done an attack on October 17. But before that also there have been a war. This war is known as Yom Kippur War. What? It is known as Yom Kippur War. This war was fought in 1973. In this Yom Kippur War also, Israel has, let's say, like, defeated many Arab states. It has, let's say, captured their territory in Yom Kippur War. So the thing is, on the eve of 50th anniversary, what? On the eve of 50th anniversary of this war, right? On 7th of October 2023, Hamas has done an attack on Israel. And Israel does have, if I talk about what is the capability of Israel, let's discuss about the strength of Israel. Israel as a country, we need to understand about the strength of Israel. If we talk about Israel, right, as we know, Israel has been established by what? By displacing people from their own region. So Israel as a state of Israel, like a state, national state for the Jewish people, it was established by displacing other people. So the thing is, the first, like when it was created, so it was created on the basis of using a force, which was backed by, supported by developed countries like United Kingdom. Right, so it has been established, but the thing is, like, since then Israel knows that, like, it is like it has done some sin, it has done something wrong. So the thing is, they are fearful also. So they have militarily, they have made themselves strong. They have made one thing, that every citizen of Israel, okay, every citizen of Israel serves the military. Okay, they serve the military for a period of 2 years. Every citizen of Israel during their, let's say, early adulthood, they have to at least serve for 2 years in military. Means it makes the people disciplined. It makes the people aware about military strategies. This is one thing that Israel has done. Apart from this, they have created bunkers. I forgot exact names. Means beneath the ground of the house. Let's say this is a house, right? This is a house, right? If we go to the ground of every house, in-house, let's say in the underground, they have a kind of tunnel. They have created tunnel, a kind of underground settlement. Means even if there is an attack of rocket, so the thing is people will be able to safeguard themselves. It is there in all the houses of Israel. Like whatever houses are there beyond the house, they do have compartment, underground compartment, where in case of attack, those people Israeli citizen can go inside, they can save themselves. That's the thing. So Israeli people stay under constant fear, kind of fear that and they are prepared also for any kind of warfare. Apart from this, they do have an organization, right? An intelligence organization. What is the name of that intelligence organization? Mossad. It is known as Mossad. This Mossad intelligence organization, this is considered to be the best intelligence organization in the world. It is compared with the, this USA has an intelligence organization. What is its name? CIA, right? Central Investigation Agency, like that. So it is compared with that, and Mossad is known for its, let's say, operations that it has conducted successfully. So its intelligence organization is considered to be one of the best in the world. Apart from this, there are other things also related to Israel we'll discuss, right? And for its defense capabilities, what it has done, it has, let's say, there have been many series of talks between Israeli and Hamas people, right? Or Israeli and these Palestinian people. After series of talks, it had occupied the entire territory also. It has, let's say, brought back its citizens, most of the citizens from West Bank, from Gaza Strip also. Even after bringing back people, it has controlled the international borders. Means these people who are there inside the Gaza Strip, these are Palestinian people, they have their own territory, but this territory from almost all sides is occupied by Israel. Just on one side there is Egypt, on the other side there is Mediterranean Sea. So recently, today there was an article, this article has talked about that this is a kind of open air prison for these people. Open air prison for these Palestinian people over here. Means although they are at their home, but the thing is they are encircled from all the sides, right? At this point also, because the warfare that is happening, USA has stationed its warships, right, in the Mediterranean Sea. So these people cannot go, escape from the sea routes. And over here, Egypt, Egypt has not allowed these people to come in its borders. That's the thing, okay? So these are the things that are happening. Apart from this, related to its border security and all, Israel has a technology which is known as Iron Dome technology. Iron Dome technology. So what happens as part of this technology? It intercepts, okay, it intercepts missiles. Means if a missile is coming, it will be able to detect the missile and it will neutralize the missile on the way. Means on the top itself, if a missile is coming, so it will be detected and it will be neutralized by some other missile, so that it is destroyed in the air itself, like that. So this Iron Dome technology, using this, they are able to, let's say, destroy up to 20 missiles per minute. But the thing is, the attack that was done by Hamas, in this attack, they have launched around 5,000 missiles. 5,000 missiles within 30 minutes, within half an hour, which was beyond the capacity of this Iron Dome technology to, let's say, intercept or to neutralize. So that's why around 1,000 or more than 1,000 people, Israeli people, have been killed. And they have not only done missile attack, they have, let's say, like, attacked through the sea routes, they have attacked through the land routes, they have killed so many people. Like on the same day, it was a totally thoughtful plan that, that Hamas has done. But now many articles are coming, these articles are saying that, like, although Israel has Mossad as one of its best intelligence agency in the world, it has also failed to gather intelligence related to any such kind of preparation. Okay, so it is being like talked about. This is the thing that is happening now. But now, if we talk about related to warfare, the warfare that is happening, what about those people who are stranded in the Gaza Strip, for example? Israel is a nuclear state. Yes. Israel is a nuclear state. Israel is a nuclear state. It has nuclear weapons. That's the thing. India is a nuclear state. Pakistan is a nuclear state. But the question arises, if it is a nuclear state, can it launch nuclear weapon in Gaza Strip and like destroy all the civilians, everyone? Related to this, there are international norms that are in place. There are international norms that are in place. So we are going to discuss about those international norms. Okay. So we'll discuss one by one these international norms because it is an important aspect of the discussion that we are doing. One of the, let's say, international norm says, this is principle of distinction. Principle of distinction. It means, let's say on one side there is Israel, on other side there is Hamas. Hamas is a political grouping, it's a terror outfit also, we can say. Some of the countries have, let's say, labeled Hamas as a terror organization. Many countries have not said it to be a terror organization like this. I mean, like, there are divided opinion related to this. So if we talk about Hamas and Israel, right, recently Israel has declared in a state of war, that it is in a state of war with Hamas. But the thing is, like, since it is a nuclear capable state, will it be, let's say, launching the nuclear weapons over here? No, because, like, under international law, there are some principles, norms. It says principle of distinction. According to this principle, civilians and combatants have to be treated differently. Okay, who? Civilians and combatants. Okay, civilians and combatants have to be treated differently. Means, if Israel in a state of warfare, it should, let's say, target the Hamas people who are fighting from the Hamas side. Means, like, all the people in Palestine, they are not involved in a kind of warfare, right, with Israel. Means, like, normal citizens are not in a state of war. Only the Hamas organization, it has recently said that it has around 35,000 people. But Israel, I mean, like, has one thing that, like, it mandates that all the citizens to go for armed services for 2 years at least in their lifetime. So the thing is, more than 90%, 95% of its population are trained in armed related thing. And recently Israel has called upon normal citizens also to join the military to fight against Hamas. So they have, let's say, like, deployed around 3 lakh people. What? 3 lakh people, so that, like, they can fight against Hamas. So this is what is happening. So according to the principle of distinction, all the civilians that are there, I mean, like, Israel may have its army strategy, but the strategy, the objective that they want to achieve through the armed conflict, this objective should not outweigh, it should not kill the civilians in large. Okay, this is one thing. Means, like, they should only target the combatant of the other party. They can target the army establishments, they can target the army weapons. Okay, means the personals, their establishment, their weapons, but not the civilians. The casualties should be minimum. Apart from this, there is another principle under international law. This principle is known as principle of proportionality. Okay, principle of proportionality. What do we mean by principle of proportionality? Means Israel was attacked, or like in the first instance now, by Hamas. So if it retaliates against the enemy, so the, let's say, the military objective that it has set, so that objective should not outweigh, in the sense it should not kill civilians, like disproportionately as compared to the combatants. That's the thing. So Israel has around 1,000 people killed in their soil, but the kind of attack that they have launched against Hamas, they have killed more than 8,000 people in Gaza Strip. So most of them, 40% of them are children. It was recently reported. So the thing is, it is not adhering to the principle of proportionality also. This is another, let's say, a principle in international law. Apart from this, there is, let's say, non-combatant immunity, and there is prohibition of weapons. Okay, so in warfare, there is a principle which is known as, I'm going to discuss the most important ones. This is known as prohibition of certain types of weapons. What are those types of weapons? One type of weapon is known as chemical weapon. Chemical weapons are prohibited, right, from the world. There is a Chemical Weapons Convention of 1925. It says storage, making, proliferation, transfer of chemical weapons is totally prohibited. It's a part of just cogence norm. Okay, it's a part of just cogence norm. We are going to discuss about what do we mean by just cogence norm, but we need to understand that chemical weapons are prohibited. Apart from chemical weapons, what other things are, let's say, prohibited, that we also need to, so for example, you might have heard about cluster munitions. Have you heard about cluster munitions? There is a cluster munition convention also. What is cluster munition? It's a kind of, let's say, hand grenade. We have hand grenade. So generally what happens, hand grenade means if you throw on the, let's say, on anyone, so it instantly fires. I mean, it is instantly showcases its capacity. But in case of cluster munitions, if you fire cluster munition, if it, let's say, it may blast, so it's going to be instant. If it does not blast, it will be there on the soil, and it can act as a landmine. Means after some time, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, if someone steps on it, it will act as a landmine. Means, so this is one thing. It means it has problems associated with it. Means the weapons that people are using, these weapons should be something that should be targeted. Means if I'm, targeting a maybe army personnel of other party, so I should be targeting him, not the civilians. But this cluster munition, once, let's say, it is there somewhere, so it does have the it does have the probability of killing the civilians also, right? So this is one thing for which, let's say, cluster munitions are totally prohibited. This is also another thing. Apart from this, there are other things also. For example, during a war zone, if we talk about cultural property, Israel is in war with which organization? Hamas, right? So if we talk about the theater of the warfare, it is the Gaza Strip. But in Gaza Strip, there can be cultural properties also. There can be cultural property. So the thing is, there are conventions that prohibits the warring parties to damage cultural property, because cultural properties are considered to be the inheritance for the humanity, for the larger humanity part. So they said the cultural property should not be damaged. This is also another thing. Other issue is related to treatment of prisoner of war. What? Treatment of prisoners of war. In short, they are known as POW. What do we mean by prisoners of war? Let's say on one side we have Hamas, on the other side we have Israel, right? On Hamas, Israel. So the thing is, in case, let's say, Israel captures some combatants of Hamas during the war, they have captured some people, maybe, let's say, 100, 200, 500. They did not kill, they have just captured. So after this particular war ends, and during the warfare also, what kind of treatment they will provide to the prisoners of war? This is also, let's say, regulated, or this is also regulated by Geneva Conventions, okay? Vienna Conventions. This is known as Vienna Conventions are there.
So what's the difference between Geneva and Vienna Convention?
Basically, Vienna Conventions are of many types. 4 convention, 3 additional protocols. Geneva Conventions are also of many types. I mean, like, these are named after the place where the convention was fought. In general, we name it as Vienna, but the thing is, like, if we go by detail, their official name is different. Like Vienna Convention on, let's say, treatment of prisoner of war. This is one of the convention. For example, Vienna Convention on Consular Relation. That's a separate convention. So when I'm referring to Vienna Convention, I'm referring to the umbrella term that, like, a convention is there. We may go to deeper into a study, but, like, that's a part of international law. People who study that field, okay, like, we will be restricting ourselves to broader part of understanding, right? So Vienna Conventions, I mean, like, Vienna Conventions talk about, like, how the prisoners of war should be treated. They should be treated humanly. There should not be any torture. And also, after the war ends, the prisoners of war have the right for repatriation. What? Right of repatriation. Right of repatriation means, after the war ends, Israel should hand over these people to Hamas, or Hamas should hand over the captured people, right? Hand over the captured people to Israel. That is, how the prisoners of war has to be, let's say, treated. And apart from this, let's say, there are non-combatant immunity also. There is a thing which says non-combatant immunity. What do we mean by this? The civilians are non-combatants. They are not fighting. And also those soldiers who are wounded, okay? Wounded soldiers. Wounded soldiers means those people who have gave up the war. So these people should not be, let's say, should not be killed. So the thing is, non-combatant people have some kind of immunity. So that's why whenever two nations, regions are at warfare, so generally the army people ask, like, are you a civilian? Where are you coming from? So that, if he is a civilian, he will be getting some kind of immunity, right? He will be left. And there is an organization also. It is known as this Red Cross and Red Crescent movement. Okay, so there was a movement. You might have heard about International Red Cross Society, right? So this is known as Red Cross and Red Crescent movement. Why it is important? Because in a war zone, right? In a war zone, combatants from both the parties are fighting, and many of these people may be killed also, right? May be killed. Some people may be wounded. So those people who are wounded, right, in a war zone, under international humanitarian law, right, under international humanitarian law, organization like Red Cross Society, what they do, they provide assistance to wounded people, right? So you might have heard about a term, Doctors Without Border. Have you heard about this? Doctors Without Borders. These are those doctors that are assisting the wounded people in the war zone. So these doctors actually, let's say, this is a theater of warfare. This is where people are fighting with one another. There can be a camp where, let's say, hospital-like infrastructure. I mean, formal infrastructure may not be there, but doctors are there. These doctors, anyone who is wounded, so they will give assistance to that particular person over in that particular region. I mean, irrespective of the fact from which side he is coming, whether he is a person from the Israeli Defense Forces or he is a Hamas person, they are going to give medical assistance to this person. After medical assistance, they will help this person to repatriate to their country. Okay, so they are neutral. In this sense, they do not take any side. So this is also recognized under international humanitarian law. The United Nations organization recognizes this thing. So apart from these things that we have discussed, many other such conventions and many things exist. So that's why those parties who are warring, right? So they also know their limitations. They also know, like, what they can do, what they cannot do. That's the thing. So other thing is prohibition of genocide. It's a just cogence norm. Just cogence means those norms that are internationally accepted, that are internationally, let's say, considered to be international norms. For example, prohibition of genocide. For example, there can be a leader who has ordered genocide of a particular people who have a different political, let's say, political maybe affiliation, or people from a different religion, people from a different caste. So genocide is something which is internationally prohibited. It is means like it is part of just cogence norm. Means like there is no there is no we cannot we cannot non-abide. Means like everybody has to abide that particular thing. That is known as what? Genocide convention is also there. Okay, just cogence norm. So there is a genocide convention as well. Genocide convention of 1948, right?
It's just cogence norm.
Just cogence norm, right? These are the norms that are internationally accepted. These are like at any point of time, these cannot be violated under international law. Okay, so this is known as just cogence norms. JUSCOGENS, just cogence norms. So these are the things that are, let's say, are at play. But if we talk about now what is happening, so have we written? Okay, keep writing these things, because maybe like some of these points may help you, right, in the exam. Now we need to understand about what is happening recently. So the thing is, in the United Nations General Assembly, in the UNGA, recently a resolution was moved. Okay, in the UNGA, a resolution was moved, and this resolution was for a kind of ceasefire. Ceasefire means the combatant people should put their arms, means like they should not fight any further. And this is not a permanent solution. They want ki, for the time being, like you just stop warring. We need to seek solution through diplomatic means. So a resolution was, let's say, like initiated in the United Nations General Assembly. Many countries have supported it. Okay, many countries what? Have supported this particular thing, especially the Arab world have supported this particular thing. But if we talk about the United Kingdom plus United States of America and many other countries, they have, let's say, like, opposed this particular thing. Like they have voted against it in the United Nations General Assembly. And what was the stand of India? India has abstained. India did not vote here. Means like neither it voted in support nor it voted against it. Today there was an article that said lost voice. I mean, like India strives to become a leader of the global south. We understand global north, global south debate. Global north represents those countries that are developed. For example, USA, UK, European Union, like that. Global south represents those countries that are on the path of development, that are underdeveloped, developing. That's the thing. So India wants to become a leader of the global south. And in G20 summit, while including European Union as its member, India has voiced that, this is global south solidarity, right? Means like African Union is considered to be part of global south also. So that's the thing. So today's article said that India has lost a voice by not, let's say, like voting over here. It should have voted and it should have given its strong, let's say, strong message for the vote that it has done. But what was the point of India in this particular resolution? What they have said? They have said that, the Hamas people, means in this resolution they have not named Hamas. They have said that the ongoing conflict that is there, so this conflict is killing civilians and both the parties should go for ceasefire. Okay, they have especially mentioned about what is happening but not named Hamas. So India said that like, there should be a strong opposition or criticism of the action that Hamas has done. So people say it was a terror attack, right? And so it should be condemned. But what Israelis are doing, Israelis are also killing huge number of people. They are killing civilians. That's also not right. Yesterday, day before yesterday, there was an article. That article was written by Sonia Gandhi in The Hindu. I've read that article, right? Today, I mean, like, means like many political parties are also showing their stand. So, what is India's stand related to Israel-Hamas war? India has good ties with Israel. India had diplomatic ties with Palestine also. India has posted one of its ambassador in Gaza Strip. That ambassador has written an article in The Hindu today. Okay, he has written an article. You might have. Yeah, he talked about the landlord. I mean, like where he used to stay. So that building was also, let's say, like demolished by Israeli forces. Means like he has written over here. So what is India's stand? The thing is like India recognizes a two-state solution. India wants a state of Palestine which coexists with Israel. They should coexist peacefully. And India thinks a kind of diplomatic solution for these people, not military solutions. Because the thing is like, and if we talk about inside Israel, what is there? In Israel also, now if we talk about Israel, in India, the news that we see, like we only see that Israel is being supported by big nations and then it is attacking. But if you go and interact with the Israeli people, so they are under constant fear. They feel that most of the countries in the world are against them, right? This is one thing. And the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, so he's a far right leader. Far right means like he is pro-war. He is pro kind of like military solution, not diplomatic solution. And most of the people in Israel does not conform to the policies of the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And the thing is like over the past years, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, has not taken any initiative of, let's say, peaceful talks with Hamas or peaceful talks with Palestinian Authority and all. So he has always condemned the, let's say, Palestinian people. He has always shown a hardliner thing. Okay. So in Israel, inside Israel, there is less, what we say, support for Benjamin Netanyahu. And the thing that he is doing, it is actually he is making his presence, I mean, like, strong. Means like he's, let's say, warring for his own country. So the people over here, they say the moment things normalize, first thing we are going to do is like we are going to remove him from the authority. That's the thing. So this is what is happening at this point of time, right? So what is the solution? What is the way forward for this? I mean, for this conflict. What is the way forward for this conflict? One of the way forward is solution similar to what United Nations General Assembly said. First, there should be a ceasefire. Then time should be taken from both the parties for negotiation. And that negotiation should be mediated by world leaders. That should be negotiated by the world leaders. Because there is a likelihood that if Iran enters into war, if Iran supports Hezbollah and it supports, let's say, Hamas, so they may launch an attack on Israel. But the thing is, then USA will jump into it, UK will jump into it. It may lead to another kind of world war. And that world war will be because of this, Israel-Palestine conflict.
Without Iran interfering now, OEUs are what they're doing in Israel. Already they interfered.
Means like they are not launching an attack against Israel, but they are condemning this thing. They have supported Hezbollah.
They blocked everything, all the supply to the Hamas. It's like
Israel has blocked it.
American warship is there, sir, in Mediterranean Sea, blocking every supply to the Hamas. What they are doing now, because Iran never entered into the war.
No, it has not directly entered into the war, but like it supports Hezbollah. It supports, let's say, indirectly Hamas also. But the thing is, Iran itself is not jumping into the war. Means like they are also being cautious about, let's say, like any third world war to happen. Even China has released press statement. China has, let's say, supported the cause of Palestine. China, Russia. So like many countries are there. But the thing is like we need to see. But the thing is the solution that we want, the solution should be for peace, for the long lasting peace. And this peace can be established by different steps. First of all, there can be a ceasefire, okay? There can be a there can be a ceasefire. Then there can be mediation, right? There can be mediation. I mean, like, big powers can mediate over here, and people can think of two-state solution. I mean, like, even if Hamas wants that, like, we want only Palestine in the entire region, where will the Jewish people go? And Jewish people are more powerful in that area as compared to Palestinian people. And if, let's say, Israel wants that, like, we want every area, they may forcefully occupy that particular territory, but the people of Palestine, they will never confirm of, let's say, like, presence of Israel. So there will be resistance. So it will remain unpeaceful. So the thing is like two-state solution is the way forward, and India also supports a kind of two-state solution in this thing. That's the thing. And there can be, let's say, like many. A group can be formed. A group means like, the group that is going to mediate, where different countries can participate into the discussion. So that will be the solution, because Hezbollah is not a single individual. It's a kind of collective conscience of the people of Palestine. Means like, those people think that, like, they have been occupied. So that can be uprooted. I mean, like, that can be uprooted only by peaceful means. That's the thing. So what you need to do after this discussion, you go through this PDF, I mean, like, this document. Here a lot of things are mentioned, and here Abraham Accords are mentioned. I mean, like, what is the role of the Arab states? Basically, the Arab states, I mean, like, they have thought of normalizing their ties with Israel. But normalization of ties, I mean, like, Hamas has now attacked. Now, since the attack, now normalization has taken a back seat. Recently, I mean, like, the leader of Saudi Arabia, so he has also condemned Israel. Initially, they have signed Abraham Accords to normalize the ties with Israel. But the thing is that normalization process has taken a backseat because of the ongoing conflict. Okay, so Hamas knew its limitation. Means like, if we do an attack on Israel, so what will be its repercussion? Israel is going to retaliate. It's going to kill its people of Palestine. But the thing is, like, they not only wanted to do an attack, they wanted to give a message to Israel. They want to give a message to the world that Palestine existed and it is existing, and they need solution to the problem. Like this. I mean, like, from both the sides, that's the thing. Okay.
Please discuss something about Yom Kippur War, who all were the parties to it, and what was the outcome of that?
Parties were, let's say, exactly, I did not go into detail of Yom Kippur War. On one side, there was Israel. On the other side, there were 2-3, let's say, Arab states. Okay. But the thing is, what Israel has done, like, it was a 6-day war. That war was fought for a period of 6 days only. 1967. It was 13-day war.
73.
Okay.
So in 67, there were 5 groups in the Arab side: Egypt, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon was there. And in 73 war, Lebanon came out. The rest of the
Lebanon is there in the northern part. I draw a map. So this is Lebanon is in the northern part over here.
And in 67, 6-day war, Iraq was also part of it.
Okay, Iraq was also a part of it.
Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq.
Okay.
Then in 73, Lebanon came out, Iraq came out, the rest 3 were fighting.
Okay, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt. Okay, so they were fighting in this Yom Kippur War. But there also, like, Israel has captured more territory. Now what has happened after this, like, Israeli Defense Forces has said the northern Gaza people to, let's say, go to the southern Gaza so that they can oust the Hamas. But the thing is, there is a likelihood that since they have evacuated the citizens from there, they may capture half of the Gaza. So they will further control, more areas. So that has been the, let's say, like, strategy of Israel, capturing more areas whenever a war happens. Okay. So this is the thing. Anything that you want to learn more, go little, do exercise. I mean, like, search something. I did not go much detail into this Yom Kippur War, although this is, widely mentioned. Okay, this is the thing. Oslo Accords we have discussed. We have like many other things are also mentioned. It's an ongoing conflict. Like this conflict has been there for more than 100 years. Okay, Abraham Accords is something that you need to read, right?
So recently, this Qatar Israel can we have these eight former Navy officers were sentenced to death in Qatar.
Yeah. So that topic is in news. What has happened? Like former Navy personnel from India, 8 of those people have been, let's say, like, convicted of espionage charges in Qatar. And the trial that happened, it happened in secret. I mean, like, it was not made public, like what was the reason of trial. And these people have been given death sentence, the 8 Navy personnel of India. And the death sentence that was given, if we talk about Qatar, Qatar is a monarchy. I mean, like, their ruler is there. It's like that. India is a democratic country. So the thing is, like, people are now seeing different ways. I mean, like, different ways how we can bring these people back to India. So the thing is, like, Qatar and India has signed a kind of, pact between two countries. So on one side we have India, on other side, like this discussion is different from the discussion that we had. On other side we have Qatar. So 8 Indian persons have been convicted and they have been sentenced, death sentence. But like, they have not been hanged. They are still there. So the thing is, what are the charges? Charges are espionage charges. Espionage means they have been spying on Qatar. So what Qatar was doing? Qatar was developing stealth submarine. Okay, it was developing stealth submarine. So that stealth submarine, basically there are 2 variants of submarine. One variant is diesel powered submarine, other is, let's say, nuclear powered submarine. So nuclear powered submarine has more stealth capacity and it can stay underwater for a very long period of time. So the thing is, like, it has given death sentence, but this death sentence, like, they will not be, let's say, like, directly hanged. So they need an authority, means, like, from the ruler of the country. The ruler once the ruler signs, right, only then they will be given death sentence. However, meanwhile, India has sought diplomatic access to these people, right? Diplomatic access. So these people have been given, Indian diplomats, or so they have been given diplomatic access to these people in 2022 itself. They have talked, but after then, they have given death sentence. And India and Qatar has signed a kind of bilateral agreement. In that particular bilateral agreement, those people who are charged of any offense in India, if they are Qatari nationals, so they are going to send back these people to Qatar so that they can serve the prison term in Qatar if they are Qatari nationals. Similarly, these people are Indian nationals. They have been, let's say, convicted of this particular thing. So India may talk, the Prime Minister of India may talk with the, let's say, ruler of Qatar, and these people can be brought back to India. But the thing is, death sentence, death sentence, maybe there is a term which is in news. This is known as clemency. What? Clemency. It means showing some kind of leniency. This death sentence can be converted to life imprisonment, right? It can be converted to life imprisonment. If it is converted to life imprisonment, so these people can be brought back from Qatar to India. And if they are brought back to India, they can serve their term if they are convicted in India, and if they reside in India, so their family persons can meet and visit them in jail. So jail, I mean, like, if a person is in jail, so I mean, people from their family go and meet the thing. So now, I mean, like, Indian officials are seeking multiple routes, multiple way outs to bring these people. So they are seeking this particular route. One thing is they want more diplomatic access. Second thing is, like, they want to go back to the agreement so that, like, these people can be brought to India. They are also thinking the option that the Prime Minister of India should talk to the leader of this. And these 8 people, what were the charges? That, like, they were doing espionage on this stealth submarine, and they were passing on this information to a foreign country. That foreign country is like in news is like, is Israel. Why Israel does this particular thing with Qatar or any other country? Because it wants to keep on gathering intelligence from of Gulf countries, okay? So that means like it becomes ready and all. So that's why Qatar has done this. It is an ongoing thing. It has not, let's say, like, yet assumed any kind of conclusion. So we need to see how it unfolds, right? So these people may be brought back to India also if Qatar shows some kind of, let's say, leniency towards these people, or like if the leaders of the two countries build a good relation in future. They have had good relation. Indian Prime Minister has visited Qatar. In Qatar, more than 7 lakh Indian citizens reside. They are doing their business. They reside over there, right? So that has been the thing. Some people of Qatar are also in India, but Qatar nationals, they have high, let's say, like, they have per capita income very high as compared to India. Because these are Gulf countries, they are, let's say, like, oil and all, so they are selling oil. So this is the thing. Okay.
Recently, a couple from Kerala who was convicted in 2018, their sentence was also under clemency terms because their aunt, through them, sent a luggage that delivered this to someone in Qatar, and there were drugs in that because she was selling drugs, and they were caught in Qatar. But later, after 4 or 5 years, and at the request of the government, their life imprisonment, it was revoked, and they were sent back last year only or this year only.
So these are the things that are there. But like, these countries, Gulf countries and all, they believe eye for an eye kind. Means like, in India, we do have a long process of law, justice and all. People remain in jail without proper trial also. But there, I mean, like, once a person is convicted, it is very easy that he may be hanged. That's so that's why there is a movement, I mean, like, movement, I mean, like, against death sentence across many countries. In India also, there was a committee, this is known as Justice Malimat Committee. So Justice Malimat Committee has also talked about that, like, wherever death sentence is given, it should be converted into life imprisonment. So it has, let's say, given one of its recommendations. So these are the things. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead.